Welcome back, guys. Right now we have our top 10 favorite Final Fantasy characters of any of the series. Remember that you can go on Facebook to chat with the WG crew, you can go on YouTube to see past episodes and bloopers, or you can check us out on iTunes on the WG Cast.
At number 10, it's a well-meaning bumbling idiot Laguna. His heart of gold tends to get him into trouble, and the time spent with his character is a welcome change of pace during Final Fantasy VIII. Next up we have Lightning, the standout feature of Final Fantasy XIII and XIII-3. A great example of a strong female character who don't need no man. She evolved alongside the game's mechanics and is now a great example of a character done right.
The last revelry to say farewell. The people here know that it's almost over.
At number 8 we have Cecil. Cecil was raised by the King of Baron and showed unfaltering loyalty to him, even mastering the Dark Sword at his request. The game opens with Cecil beginning to question the king's motives in gathering up the crystals, and subsequently being tricked into murdering an entire village. Next up we have Vincent Valentine, one of the only Final Fantasy characters to end up having his own spin-off game, Dirge of Cerberus. You can finish Final Fantasy VII without ever finding Vincent, but you'd be a fool if you don't get this shape-shifting vampire into your party. Moving on we have Vivi, a prototype black mage who eventually fell into the right hands. Vivi's coming-of-age story throughout Final Fantasy IX is one of the game's highlights, and he ends up being an indispensable member of your party. In our number 5 position we have Biggs and Wedge. This recurring pair have taken on many forms, appearing in every entry in the series from 4 to 14. There have been Blitzball players, members of Avalanche, and even enemies as part of the G-Army. Guess who runs the B&W Outfitters shop in Final Fantasy XIII? Moving on we have Kefka. The first time you meet Kefka, he's little more than a joke. You leave him stranded in a desert, ignoring his threats of revenge. He then goes on to perpetuate not one, but 2 acts of genocide and becomes God, reshaping the world in his image. Kefka has no tragic backstory to balance it out, he just wants to watch the world burn. At number 3 we have the enigmatic Auron. If this was a list of top 10 Final Fantasy badasses, he'd be right there at number 1. Another example of a character who really grows with a story. He's destined to be the hardest hitter in your party, right the way through to the end of the game. At number 2, you guessed it, Cloud is our second favourite character in all of Final Fantasy. This broody, Mako green-eyed, maverick renegade rebel without a cause is our favourite of all the Final Fantasy protagonists. And our number 1 choice for top 10 Final Fantasy character is Sephiroth. There was only one choice. Sephiroth is the ultimate bad guy. Just listen to that music.
So, Sephiroth number 1, it's a bit of a trick. I'm sure most people thought it would have been Cloud, because, everyone thinks Cloud's the best, apparently.
Yeah, but Sephiroth is the bestest.
He's the bestest bad guy.
He's
and bad guys are cooler than the heroes.
Yeah,
In this case,
yeah.
yeah.
Seeing Laguna in there from number 8 and Biggs and Wedge, yeah.
You got to give him some credit for being in most of the games.
Yeah, and changing all that, how they look. It must be a big effort to go from each game universe.
And it's interesting that we actually chose Laguna, but Laguna is pretty much a side character in the game. We didn't choose any of the Final Fantasy VIII main cast, particularly because Squall isn't a very good character.
Yeah, he's a bit boring.
He is boring, and he's always sad and woe is me, why does it all happen to me kind of stuff. So yeah, Laguna gets in, who is once again just some smooth talking badass.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's kind of a theme in this top 10, I guess.
Yeah, badass.
All right, right now we'll go to a break, but stay tuned because afterwards Vince is taking us through GTA.